Hey, what's going on, everybody? Who 186 back again with another video. It's a bit of a late night for me. I worked late last night, and I'm kind of tired. But I did want to talk about this. I figured, I didn't get a chance to do it over the weekend because I was not feeling well, and plus I work during the weekend primarily. So, um, I might as well do it now. So the game awards was just past Thursday. I thought the show overall was a bore. Really nothing, no real announcements that interested me. Except for this news right here. Phil Spencer went on stage and showed off the new Xbox, the next generation Xbox, the Xbox Series X, which is technically just named Xbox. It's just I guess the way they're going about it when it comes to the name is that they're just gonna have the name is pretty much just Xbox, but whatever type it is will be just like Series X, or it's kind of like Galaxy. You have your S9s, S8s, and stuff like that. Same thing with iPhones and stuff like that, and the different variations. So pretty much this is what it is right here. I know most of you guys who watch it seen it. I know that the title is blocking it. I'm on the verge, by the way. The is blocking it, but it's pretty much a rectangle shape. I don't mind the shape. You know what I mean? I think it has a interesting form factor to it. A lot of people compared it to PC towers and stuff like that. Um, yeah, like I don't mind it. Apparently the top of the console, it glows green. That's cool. I like that. Um, shit, my dog's barking. Ah, fuck it. Um, yeah. So like the form factor's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Um, the name. I see a lot of talk about the name of the device on Twitter, and me personally, I actually don't have a problem with the name. Will it cause some confusion? Maybe. I mean, like you said, I see this debate going on and on Twitter as well about the different Xboxes this generation, the different PlayStation PS4s, different iPhone, different Galaxies, all that stuff, right? If you go to your local store and you ask somebody, "Hey, where's the latest Xbox?" This more than likely, unless they're either dumb, or if they're trying to sell you something that you're not supposed to buy, they're more often than not they'll tell you about the Xbox Series X, right? It's not that difficult. I know a lot of people brought the Wii U into this, like, oh well, see what happens when a name kills a console. The name didn't kill the console. It was a stupid name. Wii U is a dumb name. I'm sure it did. It definitely did confuse some people. But at the end of the day, the reason why that console didn't sell well was because it had no third party support. Very poor third party support. And frankly, I think it had poor first party support also. Like the games it had on it, their exclusives were great, but to be frank, there weren't that many of them. I'm just being honest. There really weren't that many of them when you really think about it. They didn't. It really didn't get a Zelda game until what, near the end of the generation, and most people play that game on the Switch. So there you go. So yeah, so this console, the success or failure of this console it had nothing to do with the name. It's gonna have nothing to do with it. We can argue over if it's a dumb name or not. I actually like it. I don't mind it. Um, I don't really have a problem with the name. As for some of the tidbits that came out throughout the weekend, I'm gonna see if I can remember some of them. This article doesn't, it really doesn't say much here, but from everything that I know about the console right now, it's gonna be 12 teraflops. Because we all love those teraflops. Capable up to 8K, 120 frames per second. That's gonna be the new buzzwords for this new generation. A lot of the same talk went on about the upcoming PS5, and I'll talk about that a little bit later too. But yeah, so it's gonna have all that. It's gonna be a very powerful machine. Um, Apparently the controller from what I can tell is pretty similar, except for two big changes. The D pad is very different. It kind of reminds me of a PlayStation D pad, and let me show you if you can see. Let me find a colorful one. Okay, let me go get this one. If you guys can see, okay, it does kind of remind me of a PlayStation D pad. It's just that the middle of the D pad does seem to be more dug in. So I that's kind of interesting. Um, and also it has a share button, and that's solely needed for the Xbox because and but I think the thing that I'm glad it has a share button. But what Microsoft need to do, they need to improve Upload Studio because like I said before, Upload Studio is garbage. Yes, I know I can get a capture card and capture device or whatever, and technically I have one, but my brother uses that one more than I do. I just use Share Factory, and while Share Factory is not perfect, I prefer that over Upload Studio because Upload Studio is garbage, and hopefully they can improve that. Um, I mean, what else is there to say about the machine? Yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. Like I know Phil Spencer is gonna talk more about the specs of the machine at CES, so I'm actually looking forward to that. Like overall, I'm kind of. Let me also say this. They also showed off um the first game they announced with this device. They also announced Hellblade, and I don't like. Obviously, I don't give a shit about Hellblade to be honest with you. But Hellblade 2, but like you said, it's a game that was popular. It's a. I would probably say it's definitely a cult classic. And you get a second one with Microsoft money behind it, and you have Ninja Theory, which I think is the best acquisition that Microsoft made of all the new studios that they made. So you're gonna get a sequel, and I'm sure the game's gonna be great. So yeah, so overall, like, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I mean, I don't know. The thing with this device is that I'm interested to see if Microsoft, obviously they're gonna be committed to Game Pass and stuff like that. But I'm very interested because Phil Spencer said something interesting when he introduced Hellblade. He mentioned the word exclusive, and I know that there's a lot of people out there who and a lot of you are Xbox guys who sit there and want to talk about how exclusives are a bad thing. But he mentioned that they're that those a lot, especially when it comes to their big games. He did mention the word exclusive, so I do wonder if like obviously Halo's gonna come to PC. I do think Halo Infinite is gonna come to PC. That's obvious. And like it is what it is. We see the success of Halo. What is it? Halo Reach coming out on PC. That was a major success. And the new Halo is gonna come out on PC as well. It's gonna come out on Steam. But I do wonder if games like Hellblade, any game coming out from um what's that studio called? The new studio, the Initiative. Some of the bigger AAA studios. I do wonder if those games are going to stay exclusive to the Xbox Series X and whatever. And I'm also interested if they're going to announce. I'm also interested in the price. I don't know how much. I really don't know how much these consoles are going to cost next generation. There's been talk about it being 500, 600, maybe even more. If Microsoft could, let's say, if for example, if their main goal is to sell you Game Pass, right? Sell you on Game Pass, right? You get every game, every new release. You get like over 100 titles, maybe even more if they expand it for like $10 for like $1 or whatever. They offer these amazing deals on Game Pass. Will that give Microsoft the the reason to sell you this device for probably like $600, $700? Because think about it like this, right? And and look, would I buy an Xbox Series X for 700? No, I really wouldn't. I'm not buying consoles for that much. But you have to think about it from not everyone's me, right? Like I'm someone who I don't have a problem spending $60 on a game. You know what I mean? It's just how I've always been. But if you tell somebody, well, you may have to spend $700, $800 on this, but guess what? The games you're gonna get all the games you want for all the new releases for pretty much what, $1, $10, whatever, a cheap price, right? With Game Pass, is it worth it? I mean, a lot of PC gamers do the same thing. They'll spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on their rigs, on graphic cards, all that other stuff. But and on the flip side, most of them don't spend $60 on new games. Most of them will spend 20, 30, even cheaper than that. When it comes to games, they'll spend the big money on the hardware, but they'll be able to find good deals on the software. So maybe that could be play a major factor in this. So the question is, does Sony what does Sony do when it comes to this, right? Because you have to remember, the company that gave us all their information on the new console first was actually Sony. It was just a random post talking about the PS5 and all the stuff that it's gonna do. Now we haven't seen it yet. Now we seen the Xbox new, and I do wonder if they're gonna release. I've heard it from other people that they're going to release maybe cheaper models, maybe a Series S or stuff like that. But when it comes to the PlayStation, like, what is it? What are they going to do? What is Sony's plan? And to me, the only thing that I don't want Sony to do is essentially to mimic what Microsoft is doing. And let me explain. Now, I'm not like I said, I'm actually very excited about the Xbox Series X and everything like that. I do like the look of it. I actually do like the fact that you can actually lay it down on the side. But I do like it vertical. I think if since my entertainment setup is not conducive to having vertical consoles or whatever. But but I also think that my entertainment station is a bit outdated, so I may get a new one maybe within the next year. But I do like the system being vertical. But yeah, like the reason why I'm saying that I don't want Sony to copy Microsoft, I don't want them to feel like they have to respond to what Microsoft's doing um by like I don't want them to have to be like, oh well, Microsoft doing this, we have to make our machine more powerful and this and that. I because to me, the problem with the Xbox One was that they were being reactionary. What Microsoft did with the Xbox One was they were being reactionary to Sony's response. And to me, a company that is being reactive instead of being proactive is a company that is always going to be on the back foot. And we saw that throughout this whole generation with Microsoft until they decided to go their own path. So like I said, I'm interested to see what Sony does as a response. Are they going to have a similar form factor to this, or is it going to look more like a traditional console? I'm interested in that. I'm interested to see what they'll do with the controller. Like I said, outside of the placement of the of the uh options and share button, I think the controller is fine. I do like the controller a lot. Um, yeah, I am interested to see what Sony does. I just don't want them to be like, I know they'll have similar features. I know Sony talked about, like eliminating load times and all the stuff, like talking about, like all the stuff that Microsoft was talking about. Sony was talking about this first. So both these consoles are going to be similar, and I'm cool with that. I just don't want I just don't want Sony to just try to just mimic everything Microsoft doing, and vice versa. I don't want Microsoft to mimic everything Sony's doing. Like one of the problems, and I'll probably do a separate video on this. One of the things that I don't like going on in this community, that somehow these consoles have to kind of like be the same, right? Like I just don't I like the fact that my Xbox One and my PS4 can do different shit, right? I do like that, and I feel like console gaming, in a way, is kind of losing its identity with some of the decisions that these companies are making. You know what I mean? Like, if I was a pro, if I'll put it to you like this: if I was if I was primarily an Xbox gamer, I would have been sold my Xbox to get a PC, right? Like, because at the end of the day, like, if you're gonna put all your exclusive games on PC, why would I get an Xbox for? And but I'll explain all that in another video. And I think people don't register that in their head, that, oh well, you just game on console. Like, why would you? Like, you're paying to play online. You have all this other bullshit that you deal with console gaming. Like, the only reason why you should be gaming on a console is for their exclusive content, in my opinion. But again, that'll be another video in the future. Um, yeah, but just to recap, and I'll leave you after this. Just to recap, like I said, what I mean. This the announcement of the Xbox Series S was really one of the few bright spots for the Game Awards for me. Obviously I was hyped. I'm hyped for the Ghost of Tsushima. I'm definitely looking copping that summer 2020. But yeah, so but this is I like I said, I like the look of the console. I do like the new controller. Some of the new controller add-ons that they had. I do like to test out that D-pad. Um, but yeah, everything else about it's fine. And like I said, when it comes to the name is is gonna be the least of his worries. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to fail because of the name. And I don't mind the name at all. Like, I don't name it. I don't mind the name of the console. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. This is Hoopy 186. I'm out. Peace. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.